Huh?
Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is one of those sequels that improves on the original in almost every way. But it's important to note that I said almost there. The difficulty curve, for example, is far better than in Kingdom Battle. There's a deeper, more interesting RPG system at the core, and overall exploration is just better. In fact, bar a few issues, it's difficult to avoid saying that Sparks of Hope is pretty much a triumphant return of the Mario plus Rabbids mashup that still seems like an impossible thing that even exists. After the original game though, in the Mario plus Rabbids verse, if that's the thing, our Nintendo favourites seem to now happily coexist with their Rabbid counterparts. At no point does it stop becoming amusing hearing returning playable avatar Beepo refer to them as Rabbid Mario or Rabbid Peach. And honestly, the Ubisoft creations continually steal the show. Whether it's Rabbid Peach taking selfies and being a would-be influencer, or the frankly hilarious moment where Rabbid Mario decides the quickest way to get through a dark forest would be just to simply burn it to the ground. Anyway, some cosmic entity called Cursor has arrived, bringing with it the titular Sparks of Hope, which end up being one of the core elements that make this title stand out and offer such customization. Throughout the 25 to 30 hour experience, though there's a lot more to do if you want to see and do everything, potentially double that number actually, you will encounter different sparks. Each one has an ability that is applied to your hero via the left or right bumper, along with a passive ability too. For example, you might use a pink one that heals you at the start of each turn, for 3 turns, which also boosts your base health as a passive. Maybe you want to equip a spark that can buff your defense, or maybe you want lightning, gust, fire or goo-based abilities to beat the enemies quicker. There are a few variations, meaning you can apply the status effects to weapons, or just do a status-based attack like raining fireballs from the sky. The sparks are able to level up to a maximum of level 5 by feeding them star bits like the ones from Super Mario Galaxy, and doing so will increase the stats of the moves and the passive abilities. There are a total of around 30 sparks to find across 5 and a bit large open levels throughout the galaxy. Some are missable, some are essential, and some you'll want to search up guides for how to unlock, like the one that turns your slide attack into a healing life-sucking one. Arguably, some of them come too late in proceedings, and pacing is one of the largest problems that Sparks of Hope has overall. You won't even know that you can revive downed teammates until you're nearly 20 hours in, which isn't great. A turn-based isometric experience, Sparks of Hope has upped the movement abilities of everyone who hits the battlefield for the sequel. With 2 action points, you have to choose between supporting, attacking, items or spark moves, while you can do a team jump or slide attack for free. Each hero has a skill tree which tends to scope towards their class type, so Mario and Luigi are best built around their hero sight ability, which is like the Overwatch ability from XCOM, meaning you can attack when it isn't your turn if an enemy target crosses your path, but some make incredible use of the free options. Newcomer Edge can eventually be upgraded to slide 4 times per turn, and combined with the likes of an electric spark means you can do incredible damage, essentially for free. Mario can use the team jump ability to shoot from the skies or even bounce on enemy heads to do damage, and even that can be boosted with upgrades to allow for 2 jump attacks. It's interesting to mix and match abilities and characters, and if there's one thing that Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope does better than almost any other hero-based tactics games, it's making the heroes all feel vital. At first you'll think I've nailed my party here, but the objectives for battles will cause you to change things up and reward you with the understanding of the heroes that you might otherwise not use. You see, while you almost regularly just have to defeat the enemies for a victory, there are some objectives that ask you to get to a certain spot, and you can use your heroes like Rabbid Mario here with major movement abilities, combining team jumps, extended move options, and even items, and ignore the enemies completely to score the win. Likewise, Rabbid Luigi excels when it comes to objectives that require you to remove Dark Mess eyes from objects, as he can throw his boomerang and hit 3 things at once per turn, making those objectives a complete breeze. Everyone is important, and of the 9 available heroes, there was only really one that I felt that I used sparingly. Each of the islands you explore follows a pattern. You'll need to find half of a seed in one part by completing battles, then somewhere else on the map do the same with the story missions to finish the island, and then progress to the next one. At the start, each new level offers major changes, with new characters or abilities for Beepo that offer almost Metroidvania elements, allowing you to return to older islands and 100% them. But after the third new hero unlocks and they start to just upgrade Beepo's abilities, the formula does start to wear a little thin. The front-loading of new ideas comes at a bit of a cost when combined with the general speed of battles too. While Ubisoft has offered the chance to fast-forward turns and make everything run at double speed, it's just not fast enough. When you've gotten used to the mechanics and have your plans in place thanks to studying with the Beepo Tacticam, you won't really care about the enemy turn, so seeing them summon or cast or move around pipes then attack feels largely superfluous. But it doesn't end there. The last unlockable hero is a very strong one and became a mainstay in my party of 3 for much of the final third of the game. One of his moves sets off robotic bombs that walk towards the enemy until destroyed or contact is made. An upgrade to his skill tree lets you increase this from 3 to 5 walking mechas, and every time you cast, you have to watch the animation of them spawning, then moving. Elsewhere, hero abilities like the aforementioned mechas or Mario's hero sight etc. have a bespoke animation that is the same in hour 1 as it is in hour 30, and if you don't switch them off in the menus, you're a more patient man than I am, because even skipping them when they start becomes a chore after a while. It's worth noting that Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope also commits one of the cardinal sins of a turn-based game that you may or may not feel as strongly about as I do. The rules are set pretty early on regarding turns, movesets and attacks. But the enemy can also summon whirling spawn points which not only spawn between 1 to 3 enemies, and it's never clear how many are coming, it seems harsh in some battles, but also the enemies who have just spawned can immediately move and attack. Almost any RPG worth its salt would allow enemies or friendlies to summon support, but it's rare that it lets you move them immediately, so don't be shocked if the AI decides to have 3 snipers summoned from one portal, only to have every one of them land an attack on your healer, Rabbid Peach, just because. That said, elsewhere the islands themselves offer enormous exploration options, with red, blue and green coin challenges that offer variety and a break from the fighting, optional puzzles that are fun to solve, or hidden areas that will reward you with a new spark to try out. There's plenty to do in Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, but some of the creativity from the first game has been shunned in favour of a more formulaic approach. Without meaning to sound a bit sour about it, the likes of the singing ghost battle of the previous title has kind of been replaced by a checklist approach to things. Each island is fun to explore, but make no mistake, by the final area you will know what is coming, and that there will be Thing A, Thing B and Thing C to do before Thing D, E and F unlock. It's still a fun, witty and clever title, but there's definitely a propensity to not stray too much from the formula that's been laid out here. But it's only in the latter hours that you start to feel the ideas truly run out of steam, and combined with that general slow speed of the battles, you have to wonder if a tighter experience could have resulted in one of the most enjoyable games of the year. Regardless, Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope is a fun, better balanced sequel with clever ideas and bags of customization and variety that make it a pretty easy recommendation. This is a series that I truly hope continues in the future, and despite a few bugs, it feels polished and looks better than it has any right to on the big screen, which is why we're giving it an 8 out of 10. Hey, Adam from GodIsAGeek.com here. Hope you enjoyed my video review of Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope, and that you'll consider subscribing and hitting the bell button so you never miss a future video from us. If you did enjoy it, leave us a comment, tell us what you thought of the first game and if you're going to be grabbing this one, and what you're looking forward to, because there's lots of big games coming up. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.